Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news this evening, the Sarasota County School District looking to manage its own school security department over the next 2 years.
It's a decision that is producing more questions than answers for local parents concerned about school safety. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo joins us with details on the training expected for these officers. Dwayne?
Well, guys, many of the parents we spoke with were concerned primarily with the security training for these officers. Will they be able to handle the rigors of the job and protect their children the same way a sheriff's deputy can? Sarasota parent Jeannie Natoli will enroll her son in elementary school this August and was taken aback when she first learned of the district's plan to hire their own security force to protect her child.
It's a little concerning.
And for Jen Stutler, who already has kids in the system, she feels the same way.
I feel like it's really not in the best interest.
But at this point, many of the district's administrators are sold on the plan.
I think it's the right thing to do for the school district.
Director of Security and Emergency Management Michael Andrea says it's a solution to the demands for increased security due to school shootings. He also says there's an advantage by focusing on specific security training. The program would be phased in at the elementary school level by mid-August this year and completely implemented in all schools by the end of the 2019-2020 school year. But Sarasota County School Board Chair Bridget Ziegler is hesitant to jump on board completely with this new idea.
There's a lot of unknowns. I'm a board member, and one of my responsibilities is obviously to ensure the safety and security of students, but I'm also I have a fiduciary responsibility to our taxpayers. So we need to make sure we have a clear eyes and understanding to the depth of this, because this is definitely a new task.
A new task that some parents are still not sold on.
The amount of infrastructure that's required to start an internal police force, that's a lot of dollars and it's a lot of learning curve, and I just see that there should be a successful resolution between the two entities. I think that's what's best for students.
Now, the two entities being the district and the sheriff's office. Where the new hires are concerned, the district says the job descriptions for those internal security positions would be on the board meeting agenda on May 1st, only a couple weeks away. Back to you.
Okay, Dwayne, thank you. Well, it's been a chaotic few months for the Sarasota School Board as board members continue to butt heads. Undermining text messages come to light, and elected officials openly bash the superintendent. ABC 7's Alan Cohn joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight at 7. Alan?
Jacqueline, Sarasota County School Board members and the superintendent, even the Sarasota County Sheriff, all say they have one priority, the students, but disagreements about what's best for students are leading to fights and public humiliation instead of solutions. First, the district superintendent accused a school board member of sexual harassment. Then the superintendent and another board member got at it at a school board meeting. Now text messages are being revealed showing the sheriff and the school board member bashing other board members. Everyone is at a point where they want to say that they want to move forward, but a lack of trust and tension that recent feuds have created, it won't be easy.
As far as myself, you learn from your mistakes more than you'd learn from your successes, and so I've learned from this.
I hope we can all sit down and work this out, but it's going to be difficult.
Coming up at 7, hear what both parties are saying about that exchange and what the rest of the board is thinking moving forward. Back to you.
All right, Alan, thank you. A Northport woman is charged with aggravated cruelty to animals and abandonment. This after deputies found 83 animals inside Shirley Duncan's home. Today, she invited ABC 7 cameras inside the home and told us she had a history of mental illness and preferred the company of animals rather than people.
This was my life. Instead of being around people being used and abused, I built my life around animals, make sure they had a place safe. And everybody's going to judge me.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear more from Duncan and how she managed to acquire so many animals. Florida anglers will have a 40-day red snapper fishing season in the Gulf of Mexico this summer. That's a longer season than most previous seasons, which fluctuated between 3 and 42 days. Additionally, the 40-day season will apply to both state and federal waters. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission reports this is important as there are many areas of Florida where snapper are rarely caught in state waters.
Red snapper is definitely one of the fish that people come to Florida for. It's a fish, an iconic species that people love not only when they go to a restaurant to have on the table, but they enjoy going out and fishing for them.
The golf snapper season is scheduled to start June 11th and close July 21st. The 40-day season in the golf will be in effect for both this summer and next summer as well.
I do love a nice piece of snapper cooked really well.
Yeah, that's a great tasting fish. Bob has caught a few in the past. Let's check it out with Bob and our weather today, and another gorgeous one on the Suncoast.
Yeah, I had some trout today. Caught them right out here in Sarasota Bay earlier, and had a good lunch too. I tell you, it was nice out there. Calm conditions, although there was a bit of a haze in the atmosphere. You may have noticed it. A stagnant air pattern as a result of a large area of high pressure, which continues to dominate our weather. Put out a first alert update on our weather app. A problem with the air quality, and we have this occasionally here. This is unhealthy for sensitive people. That's where we're at right now. It's at 105 today. It was taken earlier this afternoon. That number updated at 1 o'clock. So folks who have respiratory problems, children and the adults, be careful out there. If you do have respiratory problems, you could run into some problem. That means limit your prolonged exposure outdoors during especially the heat of the day when that ozone is the highest. 79 right now. We have sunshine, and it was beautiful out there. The dew point temperature at 55 now. Winds out of the west-northwest at 13, and the pressure still high, 30.08 inches. Inland areas, upper 80s today, and that's going to be the case, I think, as we move through Thursday and Friday. With temperatures in the inland areas, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Coastal locations will be a little bit cooler. That's due to the immediate sea breeze that's close by. Evening planner looks good. Now, we will see temperatures a little bit warmer than we have over the past couple of mornings. It was kind of chilly start this morning. Looks as though we will see some fog around, too. We'll have details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Bob, thank you. Tonight, people across the country are remembering Barbara Bush, calling her a force of a woman.
The former First Lady passed away yesterday at the age of 92. She was diagnosed with Graves' disease in the 80s and also had congestive heart failure and COPD, which affects the lungs. Kristen Holmes gives us a look back at her life.
Flags around the country and world are flying at half-staff today in memory of former First Lady Barbara Bush, the matriarch of a political dynasty, one of only 2 women in American history to be both the wife and mother of a U.S. president. Tributes and condolences pouring in, none more moving than from her family. Former President George W. Bush posting this photo of his parents to Instagram, writing, "Our souls are settled because we know hers was." Her grandson tweeting, "My grandmother didn't just live life, she lived it well." Born Barbara Pierce in Queens, New York, she was 16 when she met a young man at a Connecticut country club who would change her life, George Herbert Walker Bush.
I married the first man I ever kissed. You talk about a bore. I am the world's worst.
The Bushes crossed the country to Texas and had 6 children. Their daughter Robin died of leukemia when she was just 3, a tragedy that had an enormous impact on Barbara. As her husband shifted to a life of public service, Barbara Bush remained out of the spotlight until he was elected as Ronald Reagan's vice president in 1980. And 8 years later, George H.W. Bush became the 41st president. Barbara Bush loved living in the White House. As First Lady, she established a nonprofit dedicated to literacy. In or out of politics, the legacy Barbara Bush nurtured will live on through her family, children, and grandchildren.
I know that I'm the world's luckiest woman. I think if I sort of put it in a nutshell, these are the things that are important to me: faith, family, and friends.
In Houston, Texas, I'm Kristen Holmes.
Coming up, wildfires continuing to spread throughout Oklahoma. We'll take a look at the damage that's rapidly getting worse.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus why health officials say a medicine made from marijuana is getting a positive review.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
As far as myself, you learn from your mistakes more than you learn from your successes, and so I've learned from this.
School board members texting insults during meetings, backbiting over who pays for school security, officials attacking the superintendent. What is going on? I'm Alan Cohn. Who's going to get schooled at the trapezoid?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
The La Musica International Chamber Music Festival, the annual celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota, with renowned musicians from around the world. April 9th through April 18th at the Sarasota Opera House. Visit lamusicafestival.org, click on Festival, open tickets, and get your seats now.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the spring sales event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
CashNet USA is trusted by over 2 million customers.
Perfect. When I lean back, I trust that you will be there to catch me.
Okay, bad idea, bad idea.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Firefighters in Oklahoma are facing another challenging day. They're trying to contain fast-moving flames from one of several wildfires burning in the west. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is following the latest developments.
Fire conditions being called historically bad as flames tear through parts of the west. In Oklahoma, 2 people killed, several others injured as the Ray fire spreads, already scorching more than 253,000 acres. This satellite image showing its massive size.
We're working very hard to protect the citizens. Fire departments all over are working very closely together.
People in some communities northwest of Oklahoma City told to evacuate. Others asked to be ready. More than 50 structures already destroyed there. Fire crews trying to save others.
Wind changes, lower humidities, increased wind speeds, higher temperatures. And so we're trying to get some things secured.
And it's not just in Oklahoma. Crews in Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona are fighting as many as 8 different wildfires.
The challenge likely to continue for firefighters, with winds expected to pick up again on Thursday, but some possible relief on the way, at least in Oklahoma, with rain in the forecast later this week. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now to that deadly engine explosion on a Southwest 737 flight. The mid-air blast shattered a window, forcing shrapnel into the plane, killing a mother on board. This incident marks the first deadly accident involving a domestic airline since 2009. An investigation has revealed that the left engine of Southwest Flight 1380 showed signs of metal fatigue. And 20 minutes into that flight, it exploded, sending debris through this window and into a passenger. Jennifer Rorden, a married mother of 2, died from her injuries after being sucked out of that window. At least 7 passengers were injured. Engines do fail, but the debris is supposed to be contained.
It's very unusual, and so we are taking this event extremely seriously. This should not happen.
Southwest had an uncontained engine failure in another 737 2 years ago. Investigators will now try to learn whether there's a bigger problem with 737 engines. A piece of this one was found 60 miles away from the Philadelphia airport. And one day after that incident, passengers on another Southwest flight from Nashville experienced some frightening moments. Minutes after taking off this morning, the plane was forced to turn around after hitting a bird. The aircraft will be taken out of service to be checked out.
Citizens of Puerto Rico just can't catch a break. The entire island now without power following a power outage. Officials estimate power will be restored within the next 24 to 36 hours. The cause of the blackout still unclear. Hurricane Maria, of course, slammed into the island in September and destroyed the electrical grid and much of the infrastructure. Puerto Rico has been dealing with unstable grid ever since that. 3 million U.S. citizens live there, and again, they just can't get a break with this thing. It shows you the destruction that Maria caused there. It just wiped everything out.
Yeah, the after effects last for years too, sometimes decades. We saw that with Hurricane Andrew in '92. There were still problems, 10 years after. You could see some issues down there. We are looking at some nice warm weather today. Titan radar picture not depicting any rainfall around, but we are looking at a high ozone level across the region. That happens when we get this stagnant high pressure ridge, which doesn't allow the atmosphere to mix, and that's what we're seeing right now with that high pressure pretty much located and centralized right over the southeast United States. And this high will slip very slowly off to the east again, and then we'll get a return of this tropical moisture back into the weather picture. We're already starting to see it in the lower levels of the atmosphere. Enough moisture, the dew point has come up now, and looks as though we will see the possibility of some fog tomorrow morning. When that dew point comes up, we have that tendency. For the time being, we have winds very light, and that's the result of that high pressure over the top of us. It'll start to change more to an east-southeasterly direction with that west coast sea breeze developing every afternoon. That kind of keeps temperatures cooler right near the coast. Obviously, with water temperatures in the mid-70s, sea breeze develops and brings that cooler breeze on shore, but doesn't have a chance to penetrate too far inland. Inland areas today, we're into the upper 80s. Look at all this dry air in place now in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. Little break right there over the northern Gulf of Mexico, but still very dry. So no real threat of any rainfall here for at least through Thursday and Friday, not counting any. Saturday, different story. Here's the European forecast model, and a fairly easy forecast now with high pressure over the top of us, some fog maybe around tomorrow morning. You see a weak area of clouds and showers right there. That's a weak cold front. It'll be moving on down, and you can see that over Jacksonville and Gainesville. That's around 1 a.m. on Friday. And then it settles and kind of dissipates over the top of us. Now it'll be hanging around long enough. Old frontal boundary with additional moisture back in the picture. On top of that, temperatures in the 80s. We'll see a little bit of cloudiness, also a chance for a few scattered showers on Saturday. And you'll see as we move the map, there's some showers depicted by this European model right over nearby us. And so we'll keep a chance for a few showers on Saturday now, with a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. But here comes the storm that's going to bring us a little bit better chance for some rainfall. You'll notice the area of low pressure not all that intense as it works its way across the lower Mississippi Valley and into the southeast, but the frontal system with it will bring us a chance for showers. This is again Monday. Best chance I think will be Sunday night, Monday, and most of that will be scattered about. As far as temperatures go, currently, as I said, it's much warmer inland away from the sea breeze. 87 now in Orlando, 80 in Miami, and temperatures cooler in places like Cortez and Sarasota, Venice and Inglewood. 82 in Northport, Mayaca City, 87 degrees. Gulf water temperature 75. Arcadia at 88. Currently, it's sunny. It's 79, and the dew point temperature has come up. It's 45 now. Just 2 days ago, the relative humidity was 29%. It's 44, so not all that high. It was another beautiful day, but it'll be a little bit higher tomorrow. The forecast tomorrow looks good. Some fog around in the morning. Will warm up pretty quickly into the mid to upper 70s as early as 11 o'clock and stay that way throughout the day. So another gorgeous day anticipated. Too bad we can't just keep all this going on through the weekend. I think we'll see a few more clouds around over the weekend. Well, the snow refuses to leave into Wisconsin and also into Minnesota. Iowa getting some snow today. You can see that's a little system. It's not all that intense at this point, but still bringing snowfall. And it looks like that's heading into Chicago during the early morning hours and then late tomorrow night. We'll see that snow move on off toward the east into Ohio. So places like Toledo, Columbus, Cleveland will get some snowfall from that. Eventually, though, the snow turns over to mainly rainfall as some warmer temperatures move in from the Atlantic right there. So they'll see rain, but it's that cold, very bone-chilling kind of rain that you see up there in the northeast at times. Southwest winds turn to the west at 5 to 10 knots. Seas right around 2 feet with a light chop in the bays and inland waters. A 7-day forecast a little bit of unsettled weather over the weekend. Our chances aren't like 80 to 90% like we saw this past weekend, but they're still there. I still think we'll see some showers around. A chance for a few thunderstorms. I think that'll come mainly inland. A possibility of that slight on Saturday. 40% chance on Sunday, and better chances scattered late at night on Sunday night and Monday morning. Temperature staying warm though, so this is not going to be a big drop in temperatures, not like the last front. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And first alert traffic, I-75 looking pretty clear this evening. We're seeing some minor backups near University Parkway, but it clears up once you get past that area. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, if mom suffers from depression when you're an infant, could that affect the baby? With more, here's ABC's Arlette Sines.
A new infant, new joy, new exhaustion, stress, and responsibility. Sometimes for moms, it means depression. A new study shows that may be bad news for her baby's long-term development. The study, led by researchers from UC San Diego, tracked the same 875 mother-child pairs in Chile for 16 years, checking in on the family at age 1, age 5, age 10, and age 16. And they found signs of depression in mom at age 1 is associated with lower cognitive test scores for the child at age 16. According to the authors, moms who were depressed showed less warmth, affection, and interest in the child's actions, and invested less in the child's educational development. It worked in reverse as well. Lower development scores in the child prompted less engagement from the mom, which also increased maternal depression, a negative cycle with sad results for both. The answer may be screening and treating signs of depression early in moms, as well as providing tools for young families to help infants reach their maximum potential. With this Medical Minute, I'm Arlette Sines, ABC News.
A new report says a medicine made from marijuana reduces seizures in children with severe forms of epilepsy, and health officials say it warrants approval in the United States. British drug makers GW Pharmaceuticals is trying to sell its purified form of an ingredient found in cannabis, one that doesn't get users high, but rather as a medication for rare, hard-to-treat seizures in children. If successful, the company's liquid formula would be the first government-approved drug made from the cannabis plant in the U.S. Well, a recall alert we need to tell you about tonight. Eggs sold from Publix are now part of a massive recall impacting hundreds of millions of eggs across the country. 18 packs of Publix Grade A extra large eggs are being taken off store shelves over salmonella concerns. Over 200 million eggs were sold by major retailers across the country from Roseacre Farms. If you have any packs of these recalled Publix eggs, you can take them back to get a full refund, so make sure to check your fridge tonight. Coming up, a devastating home explosion caught on camera, and Bill Murray debuts another Caddyshack-themed restaurant. We'll have more on those stories after the break.
As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $155 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Set your course for a waterfront lifestyle on Florida's last private island. Discover one particular harbor by Margaritaville. Nearby sugar sand beaches are as easy to find as the warm Florida sunshine. Waterfront residences from the high 400s overlook beautiful Anna Maria Sound. And a new marina with direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour designer models today. Visit ophmintousa.com now.
20 years ago, the moviegoers of Sarasota looked up at the silver screen and wanted something more. And they got exactly what they wanted. 20 years of some of the best independent films from around the world. The most iconic Hollywood stars walking the red carpet. The most glamorous parties in Southwest Florida. 20 years building up to the most exciting announcement in, well, 20 years. At the Sarasota Film Festival, April 13th to the 22nd.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Grab your calendars. I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, Van Wezel previews their new season with the shows you won't want to miss, from Broadway tours to the Boston Pops. The Suncoast Boat Show is here. We'll preview the show, take you on board a luxury yacht. Plus, Sarasota Music Archives shows us some amazing music memorabilia from right here on the Suncoast. And Three Keys Brewing and Eatery joins us in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Tonight, newly released video of a devastating home explosion in Texas earlier this month that was caught on a police dash cam. Authorities say a driver slammed into a gas line after his brakes failed. Gas apparently built up in the home and then ignited and exploded, sending officers outside scrambling for cover. 3 people inside that home were hurt, one of them critically, but they are expected to recover. Police arrested the driver on a charge of not having a driver's license, and 2 officers suffered minor injuries.
Well, you usually see tumbleweeds in those old Western films with John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, but now they're taking over homes in California.
Jeremy Roth has a story in today's Take a Look at This.
A California community is being taken over by tumbleweeds.
They were just flying down the street. Just flying down the street.
The high desert community of Victorville looks just like the Wild West on steroids. Heavy winds brought hundreds and hundreds of tumbleweeds into the city. The twisting, turning, tendril-packed tumbleweeds have taxed the tiny town's tenants with a ton of twiggy trouble. Many of them have piled up in the yards of homeowners who are, well, blown away.
Normally, you get a few flying down the street or whatnot, but never this many that will stack up like even this much. And this is mild.
Code enforcement officials had to be brought in to remove the prickly bushes by the truckload. A resident said one neighbor was trapped in their home for 2 hours. Reclusive actor Bill Murray was recently spotted in the wild helping debut his new Caddyshack-themed restaurant in Rosemont, Illinois, which is of course based on the 1980 comedy classic.
He's got a beautiful backswing. Dad, oh, he got all of that one.
For fans, the rare appearance did not disappoint.
I think the fact that it's called Caddyshack means it has something to do with golf. It has that feeling of like a family kind of a place.
The eatery is the brainchild of the entire Murray family, with dishes like crispy potato golf balls and double bogey cheeseburgers. The restaurant's motto, eat, drink, and be Murray. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That sounds like it might be right up your alley.
I know, they have one in St. Augustine apparently, that's been there for a while, and they serve caddy shakes.
Oh, nice.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, a new look for the Sarasota Bayfront on its way, how you can offer up your own thoughts on the future design.
Plus, work on a memorial playground now underway on South Lido Key, why the project is an effort of love for one Sarasota family.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
When money's tight and emergencies arise, CashNetUSA.com is available 24/7 to deliver quick loans for approved customers when they need it the most.
Apply now at CashNetUSA.com.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.